The following episode features the intentional consumption of expired food items by consenting adults. These actions are performed for entertainment purposes only and should not be attempted at home. The host, producers, and guests of the show assume no responsibility for any consequences resulting from similar behavior by viewers and listeners. Consult a medical professional before consuming any questionable or expired food products. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Matthew, thank you for joining us on the Pantry Pirates podcast, where we put preservation to proof. Have you had a chance to look over the legal stuff?
Yeah, is this the one I made, or is it the one I can't sign my own document?
Good question. So, the intake form I got through a large language model, and then that's the original waiver. So that's not the one that you edited for me. Thank you, by the way. I think the one you made is a lot better.
So I guess one of my notes, I guess a background, I do have a legal license to practice law in Tennessee, so I have a law background.
Awesome.
So, okay, date of appearance. Today's 8/27 or 26. 27's tomorrow. I know because I have a employee under me. It's his 10-year work anniversary.
Oh, cool! Congratulations. So, have you worked with him all 10 years?
No, in fact, he's kind of new to my team. Well, he's been with the. I've worked with him. He's actually been on my house a couple non-work. Like we were friends before he ended up in my team.
Well, that's neat.
I don't think I have any food allergies.
Hopefully we won't find that out now.
And I'll just go ahead and sign it, and then I can deal with the other stuff later, if need be.
Thanks. So yeah, basically it's just saying that what we're doing is inherently risky, eating expired food, and there is a chance you could get sick from it.
Yeah. Why am I doing this again?
I don't know. You're a brave guy. I promise I won't make you walk the plank.
Yeah, I enjoy doing the football podcast more.
Oh yeah, that's right. You and my son Colin have a football podcast, don't you?
Correct. And as you know, we've been talking some outside of the videos, and we got some other content coming that we're kind of working together on, we're open to ideas from the audience on it. I have one called Pirates Play we may be planning on discussing soon. Maybe bringing in some of our hobbies like board games, video games. I have an original Nintendo that still runs, an original Sega. Actually, through my wife, I have an N64. That's hers, but so we got some fun stuff we got planned down the line that we'd like to make videos on. And of course, I have a passion for football, passion for history, kind of going to different stuff like that. But
awesome. So the original Nintendo, what was your favorite game when you were a kid?
My favorite, it's an easy one. Super Mario Bros. 3, because I think it's the best game ever made.
Oh yeah, you like that Tanuki suit, or what was your favorite upgrade to get?
I actually liked the worlds, all the different worlds and the blend, like you have the ice world, the plant world, all of that. I thought that was very creative, the content in it. The different suits really helped a lot. I don't know if I have a favorite suit. I just like the variety of them. Tanuki suit was interesting. That one that it's very rare, but the sledgehammer.
Oh
suit, yeah, that one was really cool. But
where you get to be one of the Hammer brothers.
Yeah. We still play, like my daughter, my wife, and I. We still play. Was it Mario Wonder? We got that for the Switch. We played that a lot during Christmas, especially my daughter. Anything I can do with her. A lot of my hobbies I kind of align with her. We'll play video games. I'll play the dolls stuff with her. I'll admit that. And we do different games. Yeah, we do a lot of stuff with her.
I'm not too big into dolls, but Neely's got a play coffee bar, and she'll make me a latte every once in a while.
Teresa would make food. She's gotten not as much into it as she used to, but she used to make all kinds of meals for me and pretend meals, and then I make breakfast for her every Saturday morning. I'm the breakfast guy for the family, so I'll make like pancakes, eggs, bacon, sausage. She loves that. I'll make it for her and my wife instead of myself.
Nice. Yeah, Neely really likes helping me make it. I got her a little plastic set of knives so she can chop vegetables, and she'll always want to take the whisk and mix up pancake batter and stuff. So she loves doing that.
Yeah, Teresa, she'll make pie stuff for my mom. Like, actually, we're going this weekend. It's my mom's birthday, my sister's birthday, and
congrats.
Of course, I have a niece that's only 2 weeks older than Teresa, or 2 weeks younger than Teresa, and they're like best friends.
Awesome.
So they'll get to play together, and so I actually found out last weekend my sister's going to be having another child.
Congratulations.
So we went on a trip with them in early July, and I was wondering if she was pregnant, but I brought it to my mom. But you're always afraid to ask a girl, is she pregnant? Because you're like, if she isn't, then you feel like a complete moron.
Right.
So, yeah, but I was wondering, and apparently my instincts were correct on that. I was one of the first person in the family to notice that.
Awesome.
So.
Yeah, you never want to start that with a conversation. You're looking like you're getting bigger. You carried a baby? Not a good way to do it.
So. But yeah, so I got that going on this weekend. So I always then we of course got football, and obviously being a football podcast, I may defer to Colin, let him do a video reaction on this weekend games, because Colin did an excellent job. I've had some friends even comment on it, but
nice. I think y'all both did a great job.
And we had not practiced. But talking to him flowed naturally, and he even had me second guessing, like my LSU analysis, and that was one I was kind of always had on the fence. But him, him going into the offense and all that, the LSU, I was thinking about, hey, he makes some valid points there, and so he had me second guess on my own guess. I'm looking at him right now.
Nice.
So.
Yeah, I know Colin's been a football fan ever since he was a wee guy.
Yeah, I got really into it probably in high school, and I played high school basketball, so I kind of had I didn't start. I was a second, third string. One year I did the kind of coach manager kind of position too with them, but I'd play just because I enjoyed it. Enjoyed hanging around the players, enjoyed the sport. I was decent but not great, and I've always had liked football as well. Always, especially college. I've always been more of a college than a pro fan. So that's one of my hobbies. History, which may one day appear on this podcast. One of my hobbies, as you mentioned, Nintendo. Some other games I really like on it may make appearance. Legend of Zelda. I actually love both of them. I actually was one of those weird guys that loved the second one too. As a child, I never beat it. I got to the final boss, but never beat it. Have beaten it as an adult. But you got like save states. I beat on the Switch with save states.
Nice.
You didn't have that when you were
that made
back
all the
in the
difference.
day. Yeah, you didn't have that. But I did get the final boss. The easiest game I played, but I still enjoyed it, was the Kirby game, Kirby Adventure. Had some interesting games though. I have the first ever Nintendo game I got was Ghostbusters. It's a terrible game. AVGN, a bunch of them put it on their podcast. I love watching his video making fun of the game. Because I think as a kid, you don't realize how terrible it is. But watching that, because they got this one part of the level where you got to go literally all 26 stairs, and you're sitting there mashing the 8. And I don't have any of the turbo or stuff. Sitting there mashing it, but I never could beat. I'd get to that far, and I never could beat it for good reason. And there's these ghosts flying around. 3 hits, they're dead, and your characters move like sloths, and the ghosts move fast. I mean, there's no way to beat the staircase in Ghostbusters. It's like there's apparently some things with the door where there's a glitch that can help you get invincible to the ghost, and there's Game Genie, but I had none of that as a kid. So
yeah, me neither. I remember a friend of mine had that giant semi-automated controller where you had all the extra turbo buttons, but I just played with the original.
Yeah, I just had the original Duck Hunt. Now, I want to, if I did a podcast Duck Hunt, I want to film Teresa playing that because she's my daughter. She's hilarious at Duck Hunt. That was one of the games she learned to play very early on, and she's good at it. But she does put the gun, like most kids, right up next to the TV, so it makes it easier.
Right.
And I got one of those old school TVs still from my childhood that the gun won't work on like modern flat screens.
Okay, you have to have a CRT.
Yeah. I have a CRT TV that still works on, but. Yeah, she'll sit there and play it, and she's yelling at the ducks, and she missed, and she was yelling at the dog, and kind of a secret. I'll explain in the podcast. A lot of people don't know about Duck Hunt, is you gotta have the first player to do the regular controller select. Well, you can actually control the duck with the controller.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't realize that, but the first player can actually control the duck and decide where it moves on the screen. So I mess with her when doing that.
Nice. Make it harder.
She starts screaming at TV. But it's if I could get her in the right mood, that would be an entertaining video with her playing Duck Hunt.
For sure.
So.
Yeah, I've gotten into a little bit of the Switch with Neely, but she's still not very good. Working on it. She's 3, so it takes time.
That's when. So, kind of a background. I adopted my daughter, and she was about 3.5 when we first. I hate to use the word got her, but that's they call it gotcha day or something. But that's when she was first legally made my daughter overseas in Liberia, and then of course that could be a whole video to itself, just telling the story and everything we went through with that. It was a long process, very rewarding. She's been excellent, but no, so we got her, and she was about 3.5, and so yeah, she struggled a little bit on games and other stuff, but she picks up pretty smart, and she picks up stuff pretty quick, and we do Mario Kart with her, and Duck Hunt was one of the, because that gun really easy for her to play.
Sure.
So the less you can get away from it. Keep in mind they can't read. If you get stuff that's a little more interactive, they can generally pick it up quicker and stuff. So, especially like I think the driving game, they got the steering wheel and the Wii, whatever.
Oh yeah, kids love driving toys since they're little.
Yeah, so. And then I need to do a video game. So we got even though I played as a kid on the original PC, they got Doom 1 and 2 on the Switch.
Oh, nice.
Me and my wife, sometimes as a hobby, will play it, and it's really funny when we play it together. And we may need to do a video of that, just because she's so funny. We'll do all kinds of stuff. It's hard to explain. It's like on the co-op mode, you got it's almost like you got infinite lives as long as you both don't die. And so you can kind of go, but the ammo and the guns don't really respawn either. So it's like sometimes you die because you just run out of ammo and you're just swinging your fist at the monsters.
Right.
or if you're lucky enough to get the chainsaw, maybe you got that. But
yeah, it's hard to kill a zombie just punching it.
Yeah, or like a cyber demon. Because in the multiplayer, they'll throw like a boss character in a random stage and make it harder. So you'll get a cyber demon in the stage that normally cyber demon doesn't appear in.
Oh, man.
And they can kill you with one. Have you ever played Doom?
Yeah.
The original one? Oh, yeah, they kill you with one rocket. And it's like, so we're always like trying to figure out the first half of the level, how do you kill the cyber demon because it's in the way. My wife loves it. She is like the cyber demon. She's like, I want to kill the cyber demon.
Nice.
Even though we die like 20 times trying to kill it.
Yeah, I only had the demo of Doom 1, so I think it was only like the first board.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I had the full Doom 2 when I was a kid. So.
That's what so I got my dad, I was 10, I remember getting it because I remember being the age was like 17 older, and I'm like telling kids in my elementary school, we talk about, I played Doom and I'm only 10. But we had, we had Doom 2, and then you could mail in and get the first whatever episode of Doom 1 for free. It was like shareware.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I remember having that one too. But I always liked Doom 2. That's kind of like my classic one. There's people complain about... What's funny, they complain about... There's this one level called Downtown. That's like my favorite level. Because I always love the idea of feeling like you're in a real city. And they didn't have... I liked back when the games weren't linear. It was just... Because people get lost in it. But I was
right.
like... That's what I enjoyed about it. I enjoyed like exploring. It felt more real. Because you're in a city. You're fighting monsters in a city.
For sure.
And you got to kill all the monsters. Then you figure out how to get through the level. But...
yeah, that was like the original MMO. Or
yeah.
massive for our time.
Yeah.
Not massive compared to like GTA 5 now, but...
They had, what was it? The first really there's some the first popular 3D shooter was actually made by the same company as Doom. It was Wolfenstein.
Oh yeah, Wolfenstein 3D.
Yeah, the Wolfenstein 3D, and they're made by the same people. And then they followed up with Doom. But Wolfenstein 3D, you did not. What Doom did, Doom had like different levels. You didn't have elevation. You didn't have the different. They could do different colors. They could do dark rooms and all that stuff. The AI was a lot smarter. So Wolfenstein, although it was good, and if you play the two, you could see how they're similar. And in fact, there's a Doom 2 level, or a couple levels with Wolfenstein characters in them.
Nice.
That they made homage to. They also made Commander Keen, that old PC game, which nobody's, unless you've lived in the 80s and 90s, you never even heard of it. But they have like that same level that had the Wolfenstein. At the very end, they had like a Commander Keen doll.
Oh, cool.
Being hung on a noose, and you had to shoot it to exit the level.
Nice.
I remember that. So they made references to their, it's like Easter eggs to their older games.
I never played that. The Commander Keen. I did play Duke Nukem though. That was pretty fun back in the day.
That was a different company, but it was Duke. She had like, once they made Doom, they had clones. I feel like most games cloned Doom until the next big 3D shooter was GoldenEye on the N64, which I never owned N64, but I remember my neighborhood kids played it like crazy. They'd have like invite me over. I would play it, and everybody wanted to be Odd Job because he was the smallest character.
Right, hardest to hit.
Yeah, you know the routine.
Oh yeah, I remember many GoldenEye games back in the day.
So we had that going on, but that was kind of the game that. But up until then, like Duke Nukem and Quake. Quake was made by the same people as Doom.
Oh yeah,
there was,
I love me some Quake 3.
Yeah, they were all like just Doom. They took the Doom platform, but just improved on it.
Right. More
There was one
complicated,
called,
better graphics.
What was it called? Tech War. I remember having William Shatner was like the narrator. It had videos. It was like you had to hunt drug lords or something. I remember having that game.
Oh, nice. I never played the game. I did watch a few episodes of the show though when it was on.
So, Tech War.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was a TV show.
Oh, okay. I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. I think he was the narrator on the show too.
Yeah, he kind of came up with the concept. William Shatner did.
Okay.
Because he would write as well as act. He wrote. Of course, didn't do very well. It's not very good. But he wrote Star Trek V. He always wanted to be a director of Star Trek, and Leonard Nimoy actually directed one of them, a couple of them too. His did really well. William Shatner was not a director, but he directed that one. It wasn't a very good one.
Right. I mean, I'm a fan of Shatner, but you got to admit, like his acting style is overacting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Acting too emotional is what he does.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not an actor, so I can't flaw the guy. I mean, if I was in Hollywood, who knows what I would be doing.
Right.
So, it takes a lot of work. There's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes with all making movies and everything. Just kind of like these podcasts. And if you know me, subscribe if you haven't already to Pete's podcast. I'll be doing other stuff there, but support him. Go back and watch some of his videos. We were talking about that today. There's been like one of them. I think the last guest, Melissa. That was a really good video, and she was very informative and stuff. I enjoyed that one a lot.
Well, yeah, just her background in food. She knew a lot and shared a lot too. I thought that was really cool.
I had forgotten I met her at one of your cookouts. What was the last big one you had? She was there.
Oh, at 4th of July?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's been a friend of mine for a long time. You have too. We've been friends for over 5 years.
Yeah, so
time flies.
We kind of met through our mutual friend Ryan, who was the first guest. And so we got Ryan. We met through him, and then we have a group that plays board games. Kevin, who was the second guest in the podcast, also is a member of that group, and we're all kind of connected from that aspect. We've known each other for years, and Pete came up with the idea. I want to do a podcast, and I've always in the back of my mind wanted to do podcasting too. I don't just for fun, and
for sure.
So we're kind of sharing ideas, and that the football idea was kind of something I'd come up with, but glad Colin could join. That was a great one, and
me too.
We were kind of wanting to share ideas on that. So,
well, and it's a lot of fun. So Colin is my producer for the Pantry Pirates podcast, but it's fun for me to get back behind the camera and produce, and let you guys talk about college football. I know y'all are. I like watching games occasionally, but y'all are like fanatics. Like y'all are big fans.
Yeah, I watch videos, and I've kept up. I honestly, it's harder with work and a daughter to keep up like I used to. if you went back 10 years ago or something, which probably what I should have done it back in the golden age, but of YouTube. But that was when I was really into it, and especially when you're in college and stuff, and you have more time, you can watch more of the games and stuff. It gets a little harder when you get older. You get stuff that you work, family, life kind of.
Right. It all gets in the way.
Yeah.
That's cool though. Priorities change, right? You
Yeah.
get through different
yeah.
seasons of your life, and all of a sudden, if it's not just you're looking out for, you gotta reevaluate stuff.
Yeah. Funny thing is, as you saw on the podcast, I'm a tennis, not just a fan. I'm a graduate of UT, but I've been watching them, been into them a little bit less lately, and they've actually gotten better. Getting back to where I remember them back when they started. They used to be an SEC contender. Then they went through a long 15-year slump, and frustrating slump too, because they'd bring in a coach. You'd feel good. They'd have like a couple of, I wouldn't say great seasons, but they were making you feel like they were good, and then they would fall apart, and they'd rinse and repeat, hire a new coach. And I think all the programs kind of go, like Auburn's one of the programs kind of going through that. Florida's kind of going through that. It switches up.
Almost like a Charlie Brown and Lucy with the football situation, where you've got a little hope that she's going to let you kick it, and then she still pulls it away.
Exactly. That's actually a perfect analogy. But a lot of college football, NFL, a lot of it's players. It's a lot about who's the quarterback. Like Tom Brady, he changed to the Bucks, but they won Super Bowl. A lot of it's the players. College, a lot of it's the coaches. It's whoever you got. Alabama was bad. Then they get Nick Saban, and then they become the juggernaut. They're a juggernaut for 15, 20 years. And people like Colin have grown up never seeing when Alabama was bad. But and the way college football works is the teams don't get good within a season or two. One recruiting class impacts 4 seasons.
Oh, wow.
So it takes, you got to think about it. It's like that's the freshman class. You're going to be 4 years. So one coach is there 4 or 5 years usually. So if you don't get the recruiting classes right, you don't get it going a good season, it impacts 4 or 5 years. And so 10 years, next thing I know, in 10 years, your program's been bad and down. But I remember back in the day, Miami, Nebraska, teams that not very good right now were good. And and you have opposite effect too. I mean, Georgia's going through probably its best run since I've been watching football. So it's kind of like it is cyclical. You'll see teams that aren't very good right now. Like a good example, 2 other teams, Florida and Florida State, used to be juggernauts, and they're not good right now. But 10 years, who knows what they may be. Right. It's not going to happen. It doesn't happen in 1 or 2 seasons. Although with NIL, that's starting to. You can start making up for not having bad classes because you can bring in players.
Right.
Yeah. So it's kind of a little bit more like college. College basketball's like that, where the team changes every year. Football might be heading that direction.
We'll see.
Probably talking about too much about the football podcast and the non-football podcast.
Not at all, man. Not at all. So I know you're a history buff. If you could choose to live in the Roman Empire or the Roman Republic, which one would you choose?
Oh gosh, that's a good question. So people know me. Everybody's laughing if they watch this video and know me. Roman history is probably one of the areas I talk about the most. Roman and Greco history, but I love all history. If I was an aristocratic family, probably the Roman Republic, because you have a greater chance to get power and be interesting. But man, you can also get killed.
Right.
Yeah.
If you're on the bad side of the rulers.
Now, keep in mind, Roman history covers hundreds of years. There's drastic changes each century. I mean, you got even like Rome. I like to call Rome after the 4th century, which is 300s. I like to call it Byzantium. Even though Byzantium only refers to the eastern part, even the western part started culturally resembling. They converted to Christianity under Constantine. They redid their army, redid a lot of their culture, became more of a monarch, true monarch. Prior to that, emperors appointed successors, but it started becoming like your son succeeded you, and then your son's son. So it became more like a monarch, which the Byzantine Empire later resembled. So that era is almost a different era than the Empire era. Then you had the Core Empire era. Then even the Core Empire era was different from the Republic era. And even the Republic era, Rome drastically changed from like 200 BC versus where they were at 50 BC with the Caesars and stuff. Because you had 200 BC, it was more of a democracy. And that's when they did a lot of their great things. They defeated Carthage in the Punic Wars in the 3rd century BC, which would be 200. And then the 1st century BC is when they took out Macedon and the Seleucid Empire, the Greek Hellenic states.
Okay.
Which I love talking about the Greek Hellenic states as well. I love Alexander the Great and all the Diadochi and all that. But, so yeah, you're talking about Roman history. I mean, pieces of Rome lasted to 1453 AD.
Right.
Actually, you can argue the Tremzon was the last direct descendant of Rome. They were a state in northern Turkey. They lasted till about 1470 before they were conquered by the Ottomans.
Wow.
So you can go all the way to that period. The Desperate of Tremzon, that's what his name. I was trying to think the name. Yeah. So they were a remnant of the Byzantine Empire that lasted all the way to 1470. And the Byzantine Empire was a direct successor of Rome. So, yeah. And then you got like European states that claim to be Rome, like the Holy Roman Empire, the Russian Empire with the Tsars, the Ottoman Empire. You got that you could see, being to Europe, you could see all the kings had paintings of them in togas looking like Roman Caesars. So you had that going on too. The Papal States, depending on the papacy, whether it's Rome continued. You got all that. There's a lot of stuff about Rome alone.
For sure. Oh, no, I know. Its legacy continues even to this day.
Yeah. So I just nerded out there on history. So, but yeah, but you also have, I could talk about the British Empire, World War I, World War II, China. Sometimes I like to study Asia, East Asia, Africa. My daughter from Liberia, I studied a lot about West Africa. And Africa's kind of got a unique history, too, that it's a whole continent, and you really split into 5 major regions. East Africa, North Africa, or Ethiopia area, I like to say, West Africa, and South Africa. And West Africa, you had like and Congo too, that area, Congo. West Africa, sadly, is where you have a lot of the slave empires. You had the Mali, Ghana, Songhai, and you had Mansa Musa, who's one of the wealthiest men ever in history. And they had gold mines there too, and they mined it. But they were also the same group that were these empires. What they would do, they go around and conquer the tribes around them. Then they would take it, and they wanted the European goods. So they'd sell them into slavery to the Europeans and get guns, get porcelain, get all these varieties of stuff from the Europeans. So they were behind. Some of them predated slavery, but they would also sell through Timbuktu, which is the capital of a lot of those empires. Timbuktu and Gul were the big cities. They would trade it through the Arabs. The slave trade started with the Arabs, but it continued with the Europeans. And you had Congo also did the same thing, but they were different civilization, different area. You had East Africa. You had countries like Kilwa and stuff. There were some advanced. So they did a lot of trading with India and the Arab world. A lot of them converted to Islam, and they were part of it. And then Portugal came in and took over all the trade in the Indian Sea, and Portugal started colonizing or trading a lot with them. Ethiopia, though, is very unique. Ethiopia is where the Coptic Ethiopian Church. We were actually talking about this, that how they have 80 books in their Bible. They developed their own church. They never were part of the Roman Catholic Church or Protestantism or anything like that. They were isolated from Europe. They developed their own culture that's very distinct to this very day. And even prior to converting to Christianity, there's a lot of Jewish connections to Ethiopia. And Ethiopia dates almost as old as ancient Egypt.
Wow.
And you got the Aksum civilization, the cities. So Ethiopia was never colonized by Europeans. It's got a very distinct culture. It's there's a lot of rumors that the Ark of the Covenant from the Old Testament is in Ethiopia.
I've heard that. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? But it's a lot of fascinating. But I can talk about India, China, any part of the world. It's Native American culture. I love history.
I was listening to, I think there was someone on Rogan recently that she's got a copy of the Ethiopian Bible, and she mentioned different apocryphal texts about that too.
So I did recently buy the Book of Enoch, and I'm reading it.
Oh yeah,
and that's only in the Ethiopian Bible. And part of the reason that book survives is in the Ethiopian Bible. Now, interesting about it that makes it interesting, it's quoted in the Book of Jude.
Really?
Yeah. It's quoted in one chapter of the Book of Jude. Jude's one chapter, one verse. I'm sorry, one verse. It's also they found parchments of the Book of Enoch in the Dead Sea Scrolls too.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, so it's got a lot of connections. So it is part of the Christian Ethiopian Bible, and the only reason we have a full copy of it today is thanks to Ethiopians, because it was in their Bible and they passed down generation to generation to generation.
Wow.
So that's now the Catholic Bible has 71 books. The Protestant Bible has 66. So it's
I didn't realize that
Yeah.
the Catholic had
they have
had more.
First and Second Maccabees. They have Song of Esther. I think there's one called Song of Judith, and I can't remember what other books they have.
I didn't know that the Protestants were more restrictive. I know we have 66 books in the canon, but that's something I've wrestled with a little bit. Like I know in Revelation it says if you add anything or take anything away, you'll be cursed. I'm paraphrasing, but it's like, what if I didn't add it? What if maybe somebody in the past took it away? Like I don't know. I've read like you mentioned Enoch. There's some wild stuff in there.
Oh yeah. So far what I've read doesn't conflict with the Bible. I would say it tends to. At the same time, there's one thing that bothered me, and it makes me think this is why it wasn't in our Bible. So Enoch would have been at the time of Noah, and he talks about the land of Dan. Well, Dan was one of the tribe of Israel. How would he know what the land of Dan is? It might have been removed because it was inaccurate.
Okay.
That not because it had controversial stuff, but it does have some unique stuff about angels.
Right.
Oh yeah, about the luminaries. I think that's what I call them, or we call it. Was it the Nephilim and all that? Yeah, it gets into a lot into explaining stuff in Genesis, way beyond. So, but there's also different versions of Enoch. Yeah, interesting. More to come. I'm still so new to it. I can't have an opinion totally on it.
Sure. Yeah, it's been a few years since I've read it. I probably need to go back and reread. But the way I reconcile it in my mind, like the canon, the 66 books, I take those as the infallible word of God. The rest of it, I study it like intellectually, but I kind of take it with a grain of salt. Like I'm not gonna, no pun intended, I'm not gonna take it as gospel.
Yeah. So I would be open to the 71 books because it goes back to the Council of Nicaea, which was when there was a meeting of all the bishops. This is in like the 3rd century. This is when the Roman Empire was still around. It happened actually during the reign of Constantine. And they basically defined what should and what should not be in the Bible. And that's where you get the 71. And then the Protestants brought it down to 66. I'm not sure where. I'd have to read the history on how that happened. But
Me too.
From what I gather, though, if the Protestant Bible had the 71, I'm not sure why they dropped it to 66. Because the 71, in fact, 2 of the books, 1st, 2nd Maccabees, I alluded to, cover stuff that happened between the Old and New Testament. Because if you know history, the Maccabean revolt was a Greek revolt. I wanted the podcast on this because it has to do with Hanukkah. But Hanukkah is part of the Maccabean revolt. But they revolted against a Greek empire called the Seleucid Empire that persecuted the Jews. And there's a lot of prophecy in Daniel that believes that I did a Bible study, it foretells a lot of the persecution but the Maccabees were basically a revolt, and the Jews got their independence for a short period. The kingdom of Judah broke away. And the Pharisees and Sadducees tie a lot in that too. The Pharisees were kind of like the conservatives. I hate to say, conservatives are the Jewish. I hate to say Republicans. And Sadducees are like the Democrats, the liberals. And the Sadducees had a lot of Greek culture, so they believed, like a good example in Acts when it comes up about Paul and he's on trial and he talks about the resurrection. In Greek mythology, you cannot leave Hades. You cannot come back from the dead. The Sadducees had adopted that idea. They were Hellenic Jews.
I got you. Once you cross that river Styx, there's no way back.
The Pharisees were very conservative, radically conservative Jews. They were very strict on the law. It's almost like they were a backlash for what happened with Israel in the Old Testament. See, in some sad sense, you can have sympathy to them because it's like, the Jewish people were destroyed for not following God's word. And if you read Jeremiah and all that, they're going to the opposite extreme where they're so strict on you need to follow God's word, and we need that they had lost all the love and that part of the message which Jesus is trying to explain to them.
But not just God's word. They made up a whole bunch of extra laws based on their opinions of interpretations of God's word
interpret, but there's some of that going on too. And they were hypocritical, like Jesus and John the Baptist as well pointed out. Well, we got a lot of religion there.
Right.
Didn't really go that direction.
For sure.
So I guess.
But no, I love what Christ does. He boils it down to 2 commandments: love God, love people.
Yep. And they were missing
really,
the love.
That's really what it comes to.
That was the key, which is something the church sometimes can fall into today.
It's easier said than done, but I try to look at every human being and see, that they have worth, that they matter.
My view in life, a lot of it's about moderation. You got, I think, even with Christianity or religion or politics, you go extreme one way or the other when it's really probably something in the middle. Yeah, and I think that's where Jesus was trying to, the Pharisees went one way, Old Testament Israel went the other way, where they weren't taking God's commands seriously at all. They were blowing it off. So you got one, you don't need to be doing that, but you don't need to be doing what the Pharisees is, where you're not even loving the people anymore. You're condemning the people. With what was it? I always think of the parable of the Samaritan and the man on the side of the road. That to me sums up where the problem where Judah in Jesus' time had gone. The love was not there anymore. Yeah, I guess we need probably the main event is
sure.
to try So Pete, I've been kind of iffy about trying the food. Pete let me pick. I decided to go with nuts. I said no vegetables, no beverages. I would probably go with Coke or something because it's probably going to just taste bland and flat. But I think somebody beat me to the punch. Was it Kevin that tried the Coke? Or
it was Kevin brought pineapple juice. Juice. Kevin tried my pineapple juice. It was Ryan that brought the Coke. Okay. Yeah, it was Orbit's beverage.
Oh yeah. That's probably getting off light because you're probably it's probably not tasting bad. It's just bland. Which there is a Coke. We won't ever open it. My dad has a 1998 Tennessee Vol Coke at his house.
Wow.
It's like he bought at the game. It still has the Coke in it. Imagine it would taste very good if you open it, but he won't ever open it for reasons.
I don't blame him. That's got a lot of sentimental value.
Yeah.
But no, the Orbits, I was surprised. It still tasted vaguely fruity. It didn't taste like the fruits listed on the label, but I could tell it was supposed to be a fruit flavored beverage. I think I detected like passion fruit in it, which there was no passion fruit on the label. But
it's probably the sugar and how the fruit's yeah.
Through the years, something changed a little bit.
Oh gosh, I'm regretting this. Well, let's see how it goes.
All right, so just a little bit of knowledge. When in doubt, throw it out. If something looks too sketchy for y'all at home, please make sure you don't try it. Definitely use common sense. When you look at a date on a package, there's a best by date, which refers to the quality, not necessarily the safety.
You got a couple of days sometimes. Now, milk I've seen milk stale. I've seen it go stale before even the best by date.
Absolutely.
I've also seen it last after. So milk is always kind of the iffy one.
That's a good point. Yeah, any kind of dairy products, or they call them PHF, or potentially hazardous food. Anything that has to be refrigerated or has to be frozen, I would be extra skeptical of. You've got the use by date, which is usually related to safety, especially with perishables, those potentially hazardous foods. And then a sell by date, which more is for like retailer inventory. Oftentimes the food is still edible after the sell by date, but the supermarkets are not able to sell it past that date.
Yeah, and well, they're going to give you a conserved date for legal reasons. They don't want to get sued.
Absolutely.
Everything in life, I hate to say it, everything in life is legal reasons.
No, absolutely it is. And the other thing to consider along those lines is they've got to sell it to all different kinds of people. So if someone like you and me, we're adult males with no known food allergies, we don't have any kind of organ sensitivities. Like sometimes if people have like liver issues, that can affect what they're able to tolerate, or just different kinds of medical conditions related to those So they've got to think about like 80-year-old grandmas and like 2-year-old kids and everybody in between, versus like us. We're probably a safer bet on being able to try something that's a little past the date.
Sure.
Any kind of red flags though, which I would toss immediately. Any kind of bloated or bulging packaging, a broken vacuum seal or a jar that's popped, so that little clicker on the top of the lid, if that's already popped up, I would avoid it. Visible mold, except for when you want mold like with blue cheese. Sour, metallic, or chemical smells, and then any kind of fizzing or gas formation in an item that's not supposed to be carbonated would be definitely a red flag.
The key for me is if it just doesn't if it doesn't taste right, don't do it. And my wife's really strict. We'll go through food a lot and throw it out. And but yeah, if it don't look right, don't taste right. I hate to be it that way, but it's like your natural instincts kind of deal.
You got to go with your gut. No pun intended. You don't want to wreck your gut, so go with your gut.
So why am I guess I have to just ask myself, why am I eating this again?
I mean, you don't have to eat it. It's your choice. But so you brought some roasted and salted almonds.
Yeah.
What kind of dates you got on that?
It's 2016 is the year. Let me find the actual date. Oh gosh, October 27th, close to Halloween.
Nice. So it'll be 9 years out of date next month.
Yep.
All right.
9-year-old almonds, which I like almonds. I've gotten where we'll take it. My wife she packs lunch. She doesn't work. She'll pack lunch for me when I go in the office, and I'll sometimes she'll pack the almonds in there. They're really good. They're great alternative to chips. If you want something like chips to go with the side like a sandwich or something, but you want something healthier, I'm selling almonds right now.
Nice. I like them too. Almonds, really my favorite nuts I would say are Brazil nuts, but yeah, cashews, peanuts. I like pretty much all nuts.
Oh, cashews, yeah. Those like things you get at Christmas. So we get from our suppliers at work. They'll be like gourmet nuts. The
those are so good, like the German roasted nuts.
Oh yeah, I could just.
Right, me too. I could eat like a whole container of them without realizing. All right, so I got the treasure chest open. Hey, Colin, do you wanna get a close up of the treasure chest? See what goodies await.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll let Matthew choose his fate.
I'll take a look at that. You want to point out some stuff in there, just like.
I see. Sure. I see some olives. There's some spicy cheddar crackers. It looks like. Here's some sunflower hemp butter. If we want to go a little wild. Lots of different items. What do you choose, buddy?
Choose your destiny.
I originally thought because I like how old are these?
No. Don't look at the date. Choose the item and then we'll see.
I'm down to 3. I'm down to this, the oatmeal, or the crackers.
The dates are varied. There's some that expired this year, and there's some that expired many years ago. So that's part of the wild card fun.
Ooh. You know what? I just because I really like these.
Okay.
Well, now I guess I'm nutty. I got a nut theme going.
That's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. All right. So let's start with your item, the almonds.
Okay.
Open that bad boy up.
I didn't want to open. Oh, well, there it goes.
Hey, at least you know it's sealed really well.
Yeah, actually, I felt the little air indentation.
A little bit reassuring.
Oh, gosh, it's
airtight.
strong. It doesn't smell bad, just a strong almond smell. So how many do you want me to try?
Well, go ahead and put some on the plate, but before you eat them, that's actually taste is the last of the 5 senses we try.
Okay.
For a reason. So if any of the other 4 senses give you a red flag, I would be cautious about tasting.
Honestly, it smells like an almond. It just smells like, it's just stronger. It's a stronger smell.
I disagree. I detect a rancid odor. So that, when you...
Yeah, it's a little, I hate to put it this way, armpit kind of smell.
It's
almond.
Me, yeah, I've detected this odor many times before, and different foods. I've thought to describe it, but the word rancid is definitely the way.
I think armpit sweat seems to be a good description.
There you go. I like that better. All right, so smell. I'm gonna rate it a 2 for completely suspect. So I know you've watched the podcast before. The way this works for the folks that are watching for the first time, we've got a food sketchiness assessment where we use our 5 senses. We use the sense of sight, hearing, smell, touch, and finally, if we choose to, taste. And we rate each of those between a 0, which is looks good, and a 2, which is completely suspect.
Speaking of the smell, quick story. In high school, I played high school basketball. There's this guy, he had a jersey he kept in his locker. Never took it home. Never cleaned it. Thing smelled horrible. Nobody wanted to even cover him on defense because it smelled so bad. He had a lot of fun teasing us out of it.
That sounds like a good strategy, though.
Yeah.
So I played high school football, and go Raiders, North Punch High School represent. I washed my well, they washed our game uniforms for us. My practice jersey, though, if we had a losing streak, I wouldn't wash it until we won again.
Interesting. So the weird tradition. Yeah, there's always weird traditions like wearing a sock a certain way or stuff like that.
I hate to say it, I didn't wash my jersey very many times.
So you aren't that good.
I mean, I gave it my all, but no, we're not that good. Not in the years I played.
The first year I did our sophomore year when I played basketball, we had like this horrible record of 5-13. But the way sports worked in Tennessee at the time, a lot of those were non-district games, so really they don't mean anything because they don't determine your seeding in the tournament. We went through district, finished a 4th seed. We were beating teams with a lot better records, and then we went on to, I think, we finished 2nd in the district. We made it to the championship game, and then went on the region and advanced. So it was like, even though we had like a losing record, we were going through the tournaments and we were competitive. But it was kind of, I thought funny because we were making fun of the other schools. Like, y'all didn't play anybody. That's why you're getting such a good record.
Right. Didn't have enough chances to lose.
Yeah.
So in your board over there, you've got 2 of these yourself, this food sketchiness assessments. The first one will be for the almonds, since we're starting with that. And the second one will be for the Nature Valley sweet and salty nut bar, also with almonds.
Okay. Well, I do go overseas and try a lot of exotic foods, so maybe for work I've done in the past.
So as far as what was the most interesting thing you tried?
Well, I'll tell you one thing I did not like is Turkish Delight. Authentic. I just cannot eat Turkish Delight.
It's a little too sweet for me.
Yeah, it's kind of I hate to say the word rubbery, chewy. Yeah, they were bragging. I had a Turkish vendor. They're bragging about how good theirs was, and I ate it and said, yeah, it's good because I didn't want to offend anybody. But yeah,
some things are an acquired taste. I've got a buddy who from Taiwan back when I was in grad school that shared some. They were like the sugar wafers, like you can get the chocolate ones or the strawberry ones. He had some that were durian flavored, and they were pretty funky. Durian's the fruit that smells like rotting flesh.
So when it comes to food I like, I actually like Asian food a lot. I've had authentic Korean, sushi, stuff like that. I've had Korean, Indian. I've been in India. I traveled to India for work.
Awesome. What part of India?
It was Chennai, which is southern India, Madras area, and then we went to a city called Kanchipuram.
Very nice. A good friend of mine, Divya, invited me back in 2018 to Kerala, where she was from, in Trivandrum. So we stayed almost 2 weeks with her and her family.
Nice.
And yeah, it's in southern India. It's almost like the Florida of India. It's like very south.
Okay, you're probably not far from where we were at then, because Chennai is like the biggest city, like in southern India.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had my favorite thing when I was there was mutton biryani. It was so good. They weren't really big on beef. The Indian culture.
Oh yeah.
Even the Christians don't eat a lot of beef. I think out of tradition. But man, they really can cook some mutton.
Yeah, I know we had an engineer. We were about like there 3 or 4 weeks, and we were in. They would bring out this lunch at the vendor we were visiting, and he made this comment. I wanted to go under the table. He said, "I'm tired of this curry. I want a cheeseburger." I was just
Nice.
like, "Oh my gosh!" I wanted to hide.
We went to McDonald's over in Trivandrum, and they didn't have any beef products. They did have a really good Maharaja Mac that was a chicken patty that was really spicy and really delicious.
They took us to Hard Rock in the mall at Chennai, and they did have hamburgers there.
Okay.
So I actually ate a hamburger in India.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah, their culture, yeah, it's definitely but I was totally fine with the curry. You do get a little tired because you have it every meal. You get, even though there's different variants of it, stuff. It's not that it's bad; it's just you get a little bit tired of it.
I got you. Not me. I could eat it every day.
So there's a really good Indian restaurant in Mount Juliet. It's right there. Darn, I wish I knew the name. It's right there in Providence, right across from where the Genghis Grill used to be. But
Nice.
we go there some.
Oh, I didn't realize the Genghis Grill closed down.
Yeah, it closed. It's a Chinese. The restaurant place is not too far different. It's another Chinese restaurant that has like a. No, I'm sorry, it's not Chinese. Japanese would be the one that does the hibachi.
Okay.
Really, it's Asian because they blend Chinese, Japanese food, and all that stuff.
Fusion.
Fusion, yep.
Like me some fusion. All right. So for smell, I rated the almonds at 2 for completely suspicious. Sight. They look a little washed
Rated
out.
a 1 because it does have it does smell kind of like. I ate a lot of almonds. It does smell like almonds. But it's an odd version of almond. See?
They look a little washed out and dull to me.
Yeah,
I know they've been sitting for quite a while.
You could tell, and you got these cuts in them. You know, usually you shouldn't see that, and the color, they're discolored. Yeah.
That's a good point. There's probably not a lot to hear, but I'm gonna try to.
That's when we bite into it, I imagine.
Sounds like an almond.
Yeah. We'll know it. We don't know that one yet.
Right.
I guess
So,
touch.
Nothing suspect from listening to it.
I think it's suspect with touching it because you got that film on it.
Yeah, you're right. There's a little something going on.
Yeah, you got that little bit of film.
All right, and then if you're brave enough to taste it, don't. So I usually just taste like one. Don't just go ahead and haul off and eat it. Like after we rate it, then we'll decide if we want to consume it.
Okay. It's sour.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
Yeah.
Completely sus with taste. So then, if you'll count up your numbers and multiply by 10, that'll give us our total sketchiness rating.
Here it sounded good. I'll give a 0 on that. Oh gosh, that was bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna rate this 60% suspect.
Okay. I think I was only one different than you, so I'm gonna be at 50%.
If I was in search of survival food, I would probably still eat it.
I agree.
But not my first choice.
No, I think nuts would probably hold up better. That the taste would go down, but like meat, you can't eat meat.
Oh no. If it's brown or smelly, I would steer clear of any kind of meat products.
Meat and vegetables can really mess you up.
For sure, yeah. Anything with the water content and the ability to harbor, bacteria, you definitely want to steer clear.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and rate our second item. You picked the Nature Valley Sweet and Salty Nut Almond Bar.
Yep. Get these on airplanes usually. Oh. Okay, it looks. I've had plenty of these. It looks fine. There's nothing. I don't see anything suspect on how it looks.
I agree. What's the date on that?
I didn't look.
That's all right. I'll take a look.
It don't look.
April 10th, 2024. So it's
Oh, it's only.
16 months out of date.
Okay.
Not terrible. I'll take a chunk and leave you a chunk.
Okay. So.
Yeah, I agree. Sight, nothing arouses suspicion with the way it
Smell
looks.
the sucker. It smells fine. It smells like. It gives that. It has that honey kind of smell to it. Oh.
You always looking for that?
Here.
Let's see. I don't detect anything auditory that shouldn't be coming from it, so I'm going to rate it a 0 for hearing.
Touch. Well, we haven't bit into it yet.
Yeah, I
Here,
agree. I've got a little bit of maple or something sweet coming off of it, but that's what I would expect. So.
Yeah. It doesn't look like on glance. It doesn't look like it's expired.
Touch. It feels a little bit tack, like just a little bit, tiny bit sticky, but that's what the in date bars feel like as well.
Yeah, But however, I've gotten new ones out and felt that way too. That were good. So
I think that's what they're going
I have
for.
these a lot.
Try a little taste of it. Tastes good to me. I'm going to rate this 0% suspect.
Yeah, I agree. It's a little bit stronger, sweeter. Other than that, no, it just tastes a little bit sweeter. That's the only thing I would say.
Nice. All right. Totally up to you whether or not you want to consume either of them. I'm gonna go ahead and eat both of these, but
Oh, the whole thing?
No pressure whatsoever.
Did your last guest eat the whole thing?
I believe she did. That's okay. Don't. Yeah, you're gonna have to eat this whole bag. Just kidding.
Oh, I'm not eating one of those.
Don't.
I'm done with those.
I don't blame
I'm
you.
done.
That's a wiser choice than I'm about to make.
So I'll eat I might eat this. I think this guy's not in that bad shape.
Yeah. I do detect a little funky taste
To this or the
with the almonds.
Oh, yeah, they were sour. This guy doesn't even taste that. Like I said, that's 0%. Hard to tell because your mental image is saying it's bad. And you want to think it's bad. But
Yeah, the Nature Valley bar tastes good to me. A lot better than the almonds did.
I'm getting weird stomach quick, but I don't think it's actually anything wrong. I think it's just my mental mind playing.
Nice. Yeah, I would definitely eat another one of those Nature Valley bars if I found it.
Yeah, so I guess if you're stuck on a tree, I want to be some funny, like a zombie apocalypse or something. Hoard those Nature Valley bars.
Right, they've got a good shelf life.
Yeah. I'm thinking nuts in general. This one's just extremely old. I bet if it was a year or two old, it probably wouldn't be. I'd be curious to see what these would be if it was like a year or two old.
For sure, yeah. If they're still airtight and like well preserved,
I think they would be better. I think they would hold up better.
Absolutely. 7 years ago.
And who knows what that would be like if it was 10 years old.
So if we found this out of date pre-pandemic, maybe it would be more acceptable.
Yeah. That's my thought. Is that it could. Both of these could change dramatically if they were older or younger.
Nice. Well, we're about ready to wrap up.
Yeah, I think so. But Pete, it's been good being on your show, and
I've
thank you
enjoyed
for
having
all
you.
the support, having fun. I look forward to doing future podcasts with
Me
you
too.
and with Colin and the team.
Different
and,
kinds of content.
Yeah, different kind of content. We got some more stuff coming up. If you watch the video, please subscribe. Go back and watch the other ones. Go back and watch Melissa and Kevin and Ryan, and have some fun with those. But yeah, open for ideas as well.
For sure. Hey, thanks for sailing with us on another episode of Pantry Pirates. If you enjoyed the ride, the laughs, the hacks, the leftovers turned legends, we'd love for you to subscribe wherever you're listening or watching. Whether you're on Spotify, YouTube, or floating somewhere in between, hitting that subscribe button makes sure that you never miss a single episode. And if you really like what we're cracking open, leave us a rating or drop a comment. It helps more folks discover the crew. We've got plenty more spicy stories and sketchy foods coming your way. Until next time, keep your pantry weird and your treasure chest full. This is Pete with Pantry Pirates, signing off.
Hey, this is Matthew Claiborne. It's a day after gut check video for Pantry Pirates, and yeah, I've not really had any issues. My stomach felt kind of funny when I left right after, but I think that was more because I hadn't eaten rather than the stuff. I got off lucky eating the nuts. I never did quite answer that question from Pete about what era of the Roman Empire I would have lived in, and I had thought about that. And I actually thought of something really kind of cheating, but I would pick Roman Judea, but to be born around 5 AD or something. It'd be interesting to see John the Baptist and Jesus and the apostles. So that's my answer for you, Pete. So we'll go with that. But yeah, no, doing pretty well. Not any issues. Honestly, if you're trying to survive, nuts might not be a bad option. Even if they're over, they're stale. So if you're in a tough situation, that might be the way to go. Thank you, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be on the show.
Hey, this is my next day gut check for Pantry Pirates episode 4. I didn't have any gastric experiences negatively at all from the almonds or the breakfast bar. Everything went smoothly. Thanks for watching.